This is weird.
From the land of conjurers, flying through the internet to your device like a UAP, hauntingly unexplained and downright weird, this is the Witching Hours, and we are ready to take off in the flash of an eye. Good evening to one and all, wherever and whenever you are listening to this program. I'm Frosty, and joining me, as always, is the medium Jenny Lee. How are you doing, Jenny?
I think I'm good.
We're okay?
I think so,
All
yeah.
right. For a Monday, anyway. Right?
So far, so good.
I was just saying, as I was talking to our guests a little bit backstage, it was like a big switcheroo today. We had a false spring yesterday.
Yes.
Over the weekend. And then I was leaving the house in the dark this morning, and I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to need a hoodie. And I opened up the front door, and a cold Arctic blast ushered me really quickly back in the house to grab my jacket. So
I was like, I don't think I'm going to need this scarf today. And you know what? I never took it off. I kept it on all day.
But if you believe the weathermen, and many around here no longer do, it's going to be in possibly all the way up into like 80 degrees this coming weekend. So
considering in parts of the state it's snowing right now.
I know. Well, we're just kind of narrowly escaped some ice today. So welcome in, everyone. Thank you for joining us. All of our wonderful Team Weird members here on Twitch, and all of our Team Weird members over on Facebook watching us tonight. Thank you guys for jumping in and hanging out. It's so great to see you, as it always is on Mondays. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for hanging out with us. And I guess, as I always like to say and always forget, if you are watching us now, if you're listening to us now, if you're watching or listening to us at another time, we would like to ask you a favor, and that's to click whatever clicky buttons you can for us, and whether that's a thumbs up or a like or leaving a review or subscribing. Anything that you can do, especially for free, is a huge help. If it just takes a couple minutes of your time, we greatly appreciate any of those reviews and likes and subscribes and all those things that you can do, because what that does for us is it allows other people to find the program. It puts us in the algorithms, and we get more people joining us and participating and listening to the Witching Hours, which is what we want. We get more Team Weird members. And before long, we'll have a gigantic army of Team Weird that's out doing weird things. So that's what we're looking for.
Clickety clack.
Clickety clack. And I guess I should also mention that we got Team Weird Takeover 2026 coming up very soon.
Woohoo!
Well, not very soon, but it's coming quickly. This year, we're going to be at the Lord Baltimore Hotel in Baltimore, Maryland. That is June 27th and 28th. We're going to be joined by a whole bunch of amazing guests, including one of our guests tonight, Allison, the Priestess of Wonderland, who's going to be there. But, I've noticed I've been like, hey, we're going to have this guest, and Sam's going to be there, and Irene, and all these people, wonderful people that are going to be there. But the most important thing about Team Weird Takeover, and the whole reason we had it anyways, because Team Weird's going to be there. And so all of the people who are in here all the time and that are just an unmatched part of what we do, to be able to hang out and talk and relax and share some meals together and things like that. It's going to be an absolutely wonderful time. So if you don't have your ticket yet, you can go to thewitchinghourspodcast.com, thewitchinghourspodcast.com, click up on the little 3 lines at the top, go to the merch, and that'll take you to our merch store where you can purchase your ticket for the Team Weird Takeover for $60. And you can join us there on June 27th and 28th. It's going to be a good time.
And if you're so inclined, whether you bought a ticket or not, there's also a merch package available, which will get you a t-shirt and other goodies. Last year, we went a little overboard on the goodies. If that entices you to get a merch package.
So, there we go. All right, Jenny, are you ready for some weird news?
Yep. This weird news can be brought to you by you. Do you have a spooky shop, a haunted attraction, a paranormal book, or a strange little business of your own? You can sponsor the Witching Hours, or the Weird News. We offer host read ads and the sponsorship for the Weird News segment. You can find pricing and details at the witchinghourspodcast.com. Come get weird with us.
Yeah, it could be like the Weird News, brought to you by your weird boo shop, or your weird book,
Clickety-clack,
or your weird con, or whatever.
Okay, what's the news today?
All right. Well, we got to start off with bad news. Mm-hmm. I had all good news, Jenny. I had all good news.
I know. There's always something.
I'm going to find some good news. Obviously, war has kicked off on Iran. So, not to get too far into it, but obviously there's a lot of things going on right now. And I just want to mention, because we are the weird show, we are the UFOs and spirituality and woo-woo and everything else. Conspiracy theories follow along with that. And I just want to say, whatever files have not been released yet by the DOJ and redacted by the FBI must be absolutely off the chain, because we have
we're in a war,
attacked Venezuela, we are starving out Cuba, and now we have bombed Iran and killed the leader there. So, I mean, it has been a constant news cycle since the Epstein stuff has been released. And, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but it just seems to me like there has been nothing except trying to create some kind of news since this all started to distract the public of a lot of information that came out in those Epstein files. So here we are at war today. I think, of course, the supreme leader of Iran has been killed. I saw today 10 Iranian naval vessels have been sunk.
Good Lord.
Iran has attacked something like 14 countries, all in all, including an installation by France. So the last thing I heard, like, France was sending an aircraft carrier over to Iran.
What the heck?
So it's a lot of things. So we'll keep an eye on that, because it's just too big of a news story not to at least mention. Mm-hmm. And news story number 2: the sun just experienced its first spotless days in 4 years.
What does that mean?
Earlier this week, the number of visible sunspots on our home star fell to 0 for the first time in over 1,300 days.
Oh, wow.
This normally indicates a period of greatly reduced solar activity, but it's still too soon to relax, experts say. After nearly 4 years of being covered in dark blotches like an acne-covered teenager, the sun's face has suddenly turned smooth for consecutive days, hinting that the solar activity is on decline. But while this surprising spotless spectacle is a sign of things to come, it's still too soon to let our guard down, experts warn. So going from Sunday, February 22nd last week, that was the first time there was 0 sunspots since June 8th, 2022.
Wow.
So there we go.
Well, it could just be like Keisha and just taking a nap.
Well, that's kind of what they're saying. So they're saying in recent weeks,
just taking a nap.
In recent weeks, we have been hit by major solar radiation events, which is what's been causing all these aurora borealis that we've been having. And the current solar cycle is far from over, and we are almost guaranteed to see some more space weather events before our home star transitions to a more permanent state of spotlessness. 11-year solar cycle. So I'm not sure what year we're in for the solar cycle, but we still got a ways to go. But it's good that we got at least a little bit of a break. That's always better than the other.
Yeah.
And then finally, another story I will be able to talk about with our guest here in a second. Where to see the total lunar eclipse in the early hours of March 3rd. The first lunar eclipse of 2026 will transform the moon into a coppery red blood moon in the early hours of March 3rd for sky watchers in North America. The long-lasting and impressive blood moon on March 3rd will be visible to billions within the path of the eclipse, weather permitting, but exactly what you'll see depends on where you are watching it from. A total lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth sits between the moon and the sun, with the moon sitting in the Earth's shadow. The only light reaching the lunar surface is filtered through the Earth's atmosphere, which turns it red, earning that name. Though the blood moon total lunar eclipse will be visible across the night side of Earth on March 3rd, the best views will be from the western half of North America, Australia, and the Pacific. And make sure you're sitting somewhere that has dark skies if possible.
It's raining.
Is it going to? That's tomorrow night, though, right?
No, it's in the morning.
Tonight. Okay.
For the East Coast, it'll be 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, it's the sun's already up now anyway.
Well,
we wouldn't be able to see it anyway.
I think you might have a chance if it's around 6ish.
Because that's when
but it's raining.
I was up at 6 this morning and it was light outside. So.
Well, boo.
Yep. No go on the East Coast. Maybe our California friends will have a better shot.
Always something.
There we go. All right. So first night, we're going to bring on Allison, the Priestess of Wonderland, to let us know about these moon phases. What do you anything that you wanted to talk about with this blood moon that we're going to have, Allison?
Well, I was trying to look up what time I don't think we'll be able to see it, but I was trying to look up what time the moon sets tonight. Because normally it sets around the same time that the sun rises. So if it's too light already, depending on how clear of a day it is for you, I don't think we'll see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what's been happening to us lately.
At least we got to see the last solar eclipse pretty daggone good. So I'm taking that one as a win. Everything else screwed up.
If we have some Team Weird people who happen to be in other parts of the country, they can go on our Discord and share some cool pictures
that'd be fun.
Of the eclipse. Yeah.
Tell us your experience.
Yep. So that's the big thing happening this month, and it's happening like this tomorrow morning.
There we
go. First of all, March is divided into the beginning of March is all Pisces related, and the end of March is all Aries related. So Aries is that spring, jump-starting, going, moving. And Pisces is kind of like it transitions us from winter to spring. It's like in New England, we called it mud season because the ground is just like all the snow's melting and the ground is just saturated. It's like cleansing and clearing waters. Pisces is a water sign with the fish. So we just think of all of this water just cleansing and releasing, kind of waking up from the dream world or the slumber that was the hibernation in winter. And I mean, here in the South, we have the spring rains. We don't get did you guys get snow today?
No.
Oh, just rain.
I had heard some places in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, Northern Virginia, yeah.
Northern Virginia, I think there was a chance, like when it first came in, it was a little slushy, but then it just changed over to rain. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just we think of this time of year of all that water energy, just getting the ground ready and the soil ready for sprouting and for spring to come. So one of the last planets to move into Pisces moved into Pisces today. Mars moved into Pisces. So we have the Sun, Mars, Mercury, and Venus in Pisces in this first week of March, which started happening at the end of February. But so now we've got all of this Pisces dreamy energy. It's also the time where you kind of feel hopeful for spring. You feel hopeful and excited for the warmer days and like what you're going to be taking action on. And the Virgo lunar eclipse that's happening tomorrow morning is a south node eclipse. So this is things that we are releasing related to Virgo energy, which is organization, structure, perfectionism, which for some people might be, for I think like society in general, we're seeing a lot of structures crumble. but I think it does give a lot of relief to not having to be so strict and rigid with how things are. And I think that it's going to encourage like the new structures to be built with this. We have one more Virgo eclipse next February as well. And that will be closing out the Virgo cycle. So I think we're going to maybe start to see like things being organized in a different way, seeing the new structures that can be built. So the South Node eclipses are about releasing and letting go of the things that just aren't working anymore. Virgo likes
fantastic
to work. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Virgo likes things to be working in a specific order for the most efficiency. And there's a lot of things that aren't working. So like, let's let go of them. Let's release them.
Yes, please.
Yeah. We also have, Jenny, you brought this up, or we're asking about this, the Neptune-Saturn conjunction.
Yes. That happened the other day, and I missed it.
The alignment, too. I think we're going to have another alignment in
that was
June.
the alignment. Okay. But there's a conjunction. That's two different things.
A conjunction is when two planets come together, like really close in the same sign. And I kind of look at it as like this little planet meetup. Neptune and Saturn are having a little meeting, and then they're going to go off on their separate ways. But so Neptune and Saturn are both in Aries, and Neptune is ruled by Pisces that has those dreamy, hopeful kind of feelings to it. And Saturn is that rigidity, that structure, that balance, the boundaries. And so I think we're going to be finding a lot more clarity with this, because Neptune is sometimes too dreamy and too spacey, and Saturn is that structure. And so I think we're going to be having this kind of what's real, what's not real, which we're kind of seeing anyways. We're seeing like, what are the news stories even real anymore?
Really?
And it's like we have so much proof of things with AI and photographic evidence, but what is real? We can't tell anymore. So I think that Saturn and Neptune conjunction can help us clarify things, find some new definition of what is real and how we can prove things in a world where anything can be proven.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's all happening in this first week of March. The second week of March, Jupiter is going direct. It's been retrograde since last fall, and it's going direct in Cancer before it's going to move into Leo in June and July. And I like that Jupiter is going direct, because Jupiter is just like this hopeful, lucky, abundance, prosperous planet. And so when it's going retrograde, it just kind of slows things down a bit. So when it's going direct and moving forward, we just have more good things on the horizon when it's moving forward. So I'm looking forward to that. Then the third week of March, we have our Pisces new moon, which is the first new moon since the eclipses. So we're done with the first eclipse season. We survived it. And
not yet. Wait till after tomorrow.
Well, yeah, wait till after tomorrow.
Let's not count our eggs here.
But like I said at the beginning, like Pisces is that cleansing and releasing and that hope and that just like, let's just let go of everything. Let's cleanse and release it. Let's get the soil nice and saturated so that we can start planting and letting things grow and thrive in the spring. And the next day, the sun is moving into Aries. So that puts us into the Aries transition of spring. And that is the spring equinox as well. And Mercury is going direct. So the third week of March feels like spring, feels like the beginning of things.
Yay.
And then after that, we have the other planets moving into, we have Mercury, Saturn, and Mars moving into Aries as well. So we're going to have that fiery spring. But it doesn't feel like the dumpster fire that it was last spring.
Oh, good.
I know. You can already tell a difference, I think. Like last going into winter into spring last year, it was like kind of went into spring kicking and screaming. This year, I feel like especially today, there was just a kind of a vibe from everyone I was running across that they were like ready to get going. It was like spring's almost here. Like I'm so excited. People are like ready to start gardens, like people are just ready to go,
Yeah.
So I think that's a good sign.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think April is going to be like, this year is all very up and down. The whole month of March just kind of feels like it feels like kind of in the middle. It's recovering from February and kind of getting ready to, things are going to be a little bit more turbulent in April, but then May and June and July look really hopeful and good and green light go.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we'll stick with the middle. And
I mean, it feels more like a recovery.
March is kind of like the middle,
Yeah, like a getting ready for spring and I feel like there's more hope too.
Yeah. And just make sure your seatbelts and harnesses are fastened for April, so you don't fall out of the roller coaster.
Yep.
There we go.
And that's another thing, double and triple check everything because we're still in Mercury retrograde until the March 20th. So triple check everything.
All right, Allison, thank you so much for the update for March. It sounds pretty good, I think.
Thank you, Allison.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. So, man, it's always great to have those updates. It's always interesting when we see, the changes from year to year now, being able to see like last year, she said it was going to be slow going into the spring, and it really was. And this year, I'm starting to see the change here. I was skeptical. I was like, I don't know. I think I'm still going to be taking a bunch of naps in May. But I was kind of ready to go today. And I can kind of see coming out of this hibernation and stuff that people have been going through. So I'm looking forward to it. All right. So let's talk about our guest tonight. Kimm, the ghost history medium, is an evidential spirit and location medium. It wasn't until she moved to New Jersey in 2014 that she began to have spirit encounters in the woods, and since 2019 began intensive mediumship training and paranormal investigations. For location readings, she uses a combination of mediumship and remote viewing, but also offers one-on-one and gallery-style mediumship services. In addition to the spooky, she is a veterinarian and a Qigong instructor. Her paranormal mediumship website and blog with mediumship services can be found at ghosthistorymedium.com. We'll have that linked up at the top of the chat. Please welcome to the show, Kimm, the ghost history medium. How are you doing, Kimm?
Hi, everyone. Hi. Yeah, very good. Very good. You should have seen me in the background. I was nodding the whole time to the update. I'm like, yes, the parade of planets. Yes, the blood moon. Yes, retrograde. It's like it's all happening right now. So yeah, that was great to have it digested in Allison's way. That was great. That was a great update.
Good. Thank you for appreciating it. She comes on at the beginning of every month to give us our update to let us know whether we should be okay or just prepare for dumpster fires.
Unfortunately,
it's funny because
dumpster fires. So.
Well, yeah, there's always potential for dumpster fires. Yes, this is true. Well, it's funny because you did mention that I was a Qigong instructor, and so this year is the year of the fire horse in traditional Chinese astrology, and with that is very intense, very fast-moving. Structures changing, heart, passion, creativity. So it's one of the most young years that they can have, other than like the dragon fire year, which I can't imagine what a dragon fire year would be. But so yes, intense things for sure.
Yes. Well, we need the changes. So, burn it all down, fire horse.
That's the third time I've heard that today. I said it. My husband's boss said it today. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird synchronicities.
I was going to say, we've kind of been going through this process of structures, declining structures, deteriorating, so much so that, we talk about it all the time, but you know, it's kind of gotten to a point where it's almost just like negativity talking about these crumbling structures. And so tonight, you know, that got me thinking, we were talking about this, when are we going to see a reorganization of structures? Like, how much, I mean, do we have to wait another 6 years? Do we, you know, like, I don't know. Or is it getting ready to happen now?
I love this discussion because I was just thinking about this the other day, because I've been saying, like, I mean, I'm a millennial, so like, I'm ready for this to be like, there's no hope for me and people my age and below. Like, there's just no hope for any kind of success. Well, I mean, there is, but any kind of success in the structure that's been already there. But this idea of what's on the other side, and I'll tell you, there are people waking up every day that have never been, oh my gosh, ghosts. Like, they've never talked about that before. Now they're talking about it. I had a dream of my family member, not me, but people are saying I had a dream about a family member. I've never had that before. My brother, who is the last person who is any kind of spiritual whatever, he literally had a premonition dream last week, and it blew his brains. Like, he couldn't even, it literally did. He's like, I caused it. And I'm like, oh God. I'm like, no, that's not how premonitions work. Like, no, that's not how they work. But it is shifting. It's just not, it's shifting in the foundation level. And then eventually it'll upwell into the external structures, right? The external structures are the material, which is going to be the last to have a change, really.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
It's happening. I mean, people are waking up every day. So more and more.
Yeah, they are. And, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, we started doing this show in like 2021. So it was like COVID times. I think a lot of people started, you know, doing things during the COVID times. We talk about that a lot.
Yes.
But it also makes it difficult for me to compare, like, we have so many guests on the show and we talk to so many mediums. And if you were just asking my opinion, I would say that there seem to be way more people who are using their gifts and psychic abilities and stuff than there used to be. But I also wasn't necessarily fully engulfed in this world before then. So it's like, you know, I know way more paranormal investigators. I know way more mediums. I know way more people who are reading auras and all kinds of things. But I don't know. I don't know enough to say, I think that it's more. I think it's way more.
You don't have something to compare it to.
But I don't have the prior experience, because before I was into it, but I wasn't hosting a podcast where I talked to those people all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair statement. I mean, I can't say either. I haven't been, you know, doing this forever, but it's not even just people who are willing to put themselves out there and do a service for it. I mean, it's regular people on the side of the street that are all of a sudden starting to question, like, wow, I thought this and then that happened. What is that? And just because there's more people being outspoken about it, they can just Google it. You know, I saw 333. What is that?
Yes.
And then but it is funny, like, that in itself can trigger people into that mindset. Oh my gosh, there might be more available here to experience. And there's, so it's great. That part is great. So I really do have hope for that. You know what I mean? Like, like whatever this old junk is, it's so old. It is just, it is just so old and stagnant. And it's like, people are just rolling their eyes. We're just like, oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, more and more people are definitely doing that for sure.
Yeah. Definitely there's definitely new being ushered in. It just sometimes the old wants to hold on as hard as
they gotta fight their last fight.
Yes, like the weather today, it's similar. Sometimes it does this, right? It does this before it levels out into a new state. Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
Well, this is not your first time on the Witching Hours. You came on with
you guys
with
had me
the
on
podcast, Anthony and Jenny, and we finally have you on by yourself, and I'm excited. Yes. So when we had you on before, of course, there's 3 guests, and we all know Anthony loves to talk. So it was like, whenever you got a chance to talk, it was like you went as fast as you could, And then there was like, we didn't really get to dive deep in anything that you really,
I love my about. Anthony and my Jenny. Yes. I love them.
We love them too.
Very like New Jersey, New York. Like, yeah, it's great.
So, I wanted to dive a little deeper into some of the things that got brought up last time.
Great.
So your first spirit encounters, were in 2014 in the woods. What was happening in the woods?
Oh my gosh. Well, I can't say it was my first paranormal experience, but it was definitely the first time that I was proven that I was specifically picking up on something. So I had experiences at the second oldest house in Manchester, New Hampshire, back in, I think that was like 2012. Footsteps coming to the room, like no joke. I thought somebody was there. But it wasn't like I felt like I was picking up on something. I felt like the house has a spirit and they're, making themselves.
Like you were just experiencing something that was happening.
Yeah.
It wasn't like coming through you.
Right. So this was like the craziest thing. And, we talk about spirit guides. I'm sure you talk about spirit guides in the show with all of our weird friends, which I'm very happy to be a part of. The weird and doing all the clicky clicks. That was great too.
There's so much to do. Yeah.
So I moved to New Jersey in 2014 with my dogs for a job, my first professional job after an internship and a veterinary job. And I didn't know anybody here. And I love hiking. So I took my dogs out in a local area where there's a bat cave, and it used to be an old mine. And so I was going through the woods. It was July. I moved here in July, so it was full leaf cover. Like the leaves were all around, and it was very limited visibility in the woods. So I'm walking down the trail, and all of a sudden I start getting this feeling like I'm going through a tunnel of people, women, children, and they were kind of tall. It was a little weird, to be honest. And I was walking through them, and they were just watching me. And I was like, okay, I grabbed my dogs, and I didn't turn around. I kept going. Because honestly, that didn't really scare me. I would be a bear, but I see those up here all the time. So I came back to the woods. So I looked around. I didn't really see anything that would help explain why I'm seeing a tunnel of people. So then I started doing the same trail in the fall, and the leaves had come down. And I was in the same part of the trail, and I started having the same experience. And it was this tunnel of people. It was the exact same experience. But this time when I looked around, in the distance, I could see these white crosses. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, it was in the middle of the woods. It's a conservation wildlife management kind of area, miles of trails. And so I walked there, and there's an entire graveyard, a cemetery in the forest. It's called St. Patrick's Cemetery. I think the year is like 1869. Don't quote me on that one. I sometimes miss up my numbers. And there used to be a town up there. There was a church up there. There was a whole town up there. It was a part of Hibernia. And there was a Hibernia mine. It was one of the largest mines in New Jersey. And again, I don't know any of this information. I just moved to New Jersey. I have no idea about mines. We don't really have those in Massachusetts. I was like, I don't know what this is. We have quarries, but so that kind of triggered me to be like, wow, and I'm a science person at heart, You're
a veterinarian. Yeah.
Right. So it was my spirit guides really organized it that way, or however we want to say it, to me to have the experience, not knowing, and then have the same experience, then find out what is in that area. So it was really remarkable. And honestly, that was the impetus to me to be like, okay, I'm picking up on stuff. Something is really coming to me here. Let's dive deeper into this. And I started my mediumship really going to locations, because that's where I started getting most of my information, the history of the places, people of the places, and it's evolved from there. So then from there, I did do like intensive mediumship training, but my real, my heart and soul of it is really going to historical places. Don't ask me why. I have no idea why this matters to me. It's the weirdest thing. But that's what I love to do.
We have a great comment from Denise over on Facebook. She said, OMG, her recollection is sending chills all over.
Oh, you're welcome. I love sending the chilies. Yeah.
Well, I think it has to go back. You have to go back to what you were just talking about people waking up and like having that first thing. Like that's the whole point, is that we have to have the things that make us start searching for answers. Because that's all it is like we're seeking to find the source of it, like whatever that means to you. But that's the whole point. So with your experience being a location, it's like the location was talking to you. It doesn't surprise me that you're still that's your passion and finding the history and all of that,
Agreed.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point there too. It's like a lot of the people that are on this journey are people who are looking for answers. It's people who are, So there's kind of a quest there to figure out what the heck's going on.
Experience leads you to the next thing, and then you start learning something, and then you have another experience, and it just grows and grows and grows.
Yeah, it was just like what for me, it was like, oh my gosh, there is so much more available to experience here than what we actually think is really here. And that goes for everybody, not just myself as a medium or you, Jenny, as a medium. I mean, it's really available to anybody if you trust it and open to the possibility. So that was exciting to me, to be honest, that like, wow, there's so much more to access and experience. And it gave me such a deeper depth of like just being here.
Yeah. It makes all the garbage dumpster fires a little bit easier.
Right. It made it a little more meaningless. There's just like, that's not that it's not meaningless, but there's so much more beyond that. Yeah,
there's more important things to worry about almost in a way. I mean, that's kind of what gets me through a lot of it is, there's all these things that we're figuring out. So I'd rather concentrate on that. Yeah,
exactly.
So after your training and learning and intensive mediumship and all that, then you get into paranormal research and investigations. And one of the things that you mentioned, how you experience locations, is through remote viewing. Yeah. And as someone who also can do that, I know that the people who, there's like the science way that you're supposed to do the remote viewing, coordinates.
Yeah, like the military with coordinates. Yeah.
So there's this other part of remote viewing that is not so much like that.
Yes.
And I think that sometimes the one that's not scientific kind of gets poo-pooed on. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. What I really wanted to ask you was, how do you experience remote viewing?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I have dabbled in some of that because there are some resources online to be taught how to do that. There's different ways to do that kind of remote viewing. There's one school of thought, don't ask me the name, I can't remember it, where you do like a quick handwritten thing. And that handwritten thing is your subconscious basically writing out clues as to what you're remote viewing into. Mm-hmm. So there was some kind of teaching like that, but there's a ton of other methods that I did look into. They were just a little too rigid for me.
That's the way I feel about them.
Yeah, which doesn't mean they're wrong, and they are very helpful for a lot of people because some people get very lost in the entire potential of what they're looking into. So that kind of rigidity can really help you narrow down and be focused. But I don't think you need it. I think it's a tool. Anyway, so.
I mean, a lot of those, a lot of the guys like Joseph McGonigal and Ed Dames, and we were just talking about Ingo Swann. Mm-hmm. Like those are all people who were taught specifically through like the military and like CIA. So there had to be like for those institutions, for the U.S. Army or something like that, they had to have some kind of scientific regimented way to be able to collect data.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's fun. There's some websites too where you just you just get numbers as practice.
Yeah.
You know, who does remote viewing practice on their own on a Sunday night? Girl. So, which is fun. So it's just a coordinate, and then you get whatever you get from it, and then you click on it, and it will give you a picture and all the detail and information where it is. So it's fun. It's kind of fun, but it's fun to practice in that way to see what can I get from this. There was a really interesting one that I did there. I got like a circle, right? Like I got like this circle, and to me, it kind of looked like the top of a drink, like the top of a drink that there would be like water inside the circle. And this was a while ago. And so that's just what I wrote. I'm like, I don't know what this is. You know what I mean? I'm just drawing a circle and just saying that there's water in it. And then I clicked on the link, and it was this like circular boardwalk, I think in Germany or something like that, over the water. Yeah, it was like, and I was like, that's the weirdest thing, but I'm like, okay. Anyway, so that's not typically how it works for me. So I would do remote viewing in a few ways. So if I'm about to go to a location, often I will, I don't like to know anything about the place I go to. Sometimes that's really hard. You may have gone there before, or it's a well-known place, or, you know, so sometimes it's hard, but I try not to know anything before I go to a place. And the day before to the time of me going and arriving, I might get images, I might get individuals, dates, names. Usually what really wants to be brought forward will kind of come forward in that way. But I also sometimes, and not all the time, will actually sit down and write, and with an image. So I might have one image of the place, and I'll actually tap in through the image. I can also tap in through the address. So if you give me an address, I can tap in through that way. And so through the address, well, the image, you can kind of place yourself there in the image in remote view from there. But if it's an address, it's the same thing. So it's almost like I arrive in my mind at the location, and I can see what it looks like. And then, you know, I might go through the place remotely, like where's the bedroom, the back room. And really what I'm looking for, because these are paranormal locations or people reach out to me about an incident at their home, is I want to know like what's important here. You know, I don't need to see like where your bathroom is if your bathroom's not important. I'm sure it's lovely, but you know, so I ask, you know, is there any spirit who would like to come forward to discuss this location with me? And then spirit might come down and communicate, or I might pick up on spirits who are there. So residual entities that are there, thought forms, stuff like that. So that's how I would work if I was reading a place completely remotely, or if I was going before the location. But when I am at a location, I actually like to do my reading outside. So I don't go into the house at all at first. That's really hard to do often. But if I'm doing a specific reading for a person, they're hiring me to do a reading for their house, I don't want to go inside first. So I actually do my reading outside and get the information being outside about locations in the house that might have specific activity, spirit, people, you know, particular experiences people may be having. And then I'll do my walkthrough of the location to get a little bit more in depth of the information there. But most of the information I get from just being outside and tapping in that way.
So it sounds like it's a combination of communicating with spirits and things that might be there, but then also, is it, this was my next question, and I guess they kind of tie in together. For you, in any of your work, what are the clairs that you seem to be the strongest in? Like, are you, like when you're picking up on all that stuff, is it coming through mostly through visions, or are you hearing things, or is it just a knowing, or is it a combination of things?
Another great question. I will say it's evolved, and I will say my most comfortable, but may not be my most accurate, are my visions. So for example, and you'll probably understand this, Jenny, if my energy is kind of tanking, if like I'm not really getting the feel of the connection, my like baseline connection are visions. So using my Claire, oh my gosh, why am I not? What is the Claire? What is for Claire? What?
No, clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance, yeah, the easy one. What? Okay.
Well,
yeah.
you see, I was having to go through my mental Rolodex too. Like, oh crap, what is it? We're gonna both look pretty dumb here if we can't remember what it is.
We would too. So that one's like kind of the most baseline for me, but I would say I like to check it with the feel, and I like to check it with my knowing. Yeah. So if I'm at my lowest, like I'm not really getting a good connection, I might get visions, but what can sometimes happen with that is I may not know what those visions really mean.
Yeah.
So then if I have a good, strong connection with either a location or a spirit, I don't even need to check the vision because I just know and I feel it.
Yeah.
So I mostly use those three. I do also, so that would be clairvoyance, claircognizance, and clairsentience.
Yep.
I do have clairaudience, but it's not my primary. And to be honest, I may have tasted and smelled like a handful of times.
Yeah, me too. Which I think those are more rare. We have some questions for you.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Go ahead, Frosty.
Yeah. So the first one is from Denise. Someone I ran across at an event, his teenage son never came back home from school one afternoon, and they haven't seen him since. Can remote viewing be done to find a missing person?
Yes, absolutely. And this is something that there's a whole service of mediums who do this, mediums and psychics, that do remote viewing to help find missing people. There's a bunch of Facebook groups that people will post stuff and get readings. I've done this a few times. I will tell you, for me, it can be a little heavy. It can be a little intense, and it's high stakes. And, you know, it's definitely not a comfort place for me to.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And it can be intense. So, but yes, absolutely. Remote viewing can absolutely be used for that. And I have dabbled in that just to see what it was like for me to do that. And I realized, I don't think this direction is for me at this time.
We did have a fun experience one night on my stream. I was streaming here on Twitch, doing my reading night, and I get a message from a lady that I used to be in a paranormal group with, and there was an old man that was lost in the neighborhood, and she was like, "Do you think you can tap into this?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, guess what? I'm streaming right now. Let's see if everybody can tap into this." So I just had to chat and everybody, and everybody's throwing out their stuff, and people were seeing him like on a bench near a golf course or something, and it was really interesting. And they did end up finding him, and he was fine. And I don't remember if anybody's stuff was accurate. I think that there was some things.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing where it's like the person is still living is like, I feel like, okay. But if the person is deceased, it can get pretty hard.
It can get dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I would also say, Denise, that and you may not already know this, but a lot of people aren't aware that not only can institutions use remote viewers for things like that, but they do.
Yep.
Your local police, state police, the FBI, all use psychics and remote viewers. They won't.
And if they tell you they don't, they're full of it.
But they do. We know they do. It's common knowledge. So I mean, these are being used for all, and not just missing people, but lots of stuff. So
a lot of things. Yeah.
So
all right, we have another question.
More questions.
Isha.
Yes.
Great.
Isha said, "Do you find that it protects your energy doing a check-in from outside first?"
Yeah, Keisha, I don't do it just for protection. For some reason, I have a deeper connection to land and space and place. So for me, if I'm outside the house, I just have I get a better reading. It just feels more comfortable for me to do it outside the house. I don't know of anybody else who really does it this way. It's just something that feels really natural for me to do a reading outside. And something we didn't mention about the remote viewing too is not only can we remote view in this space and time, but we can also remote view in this space and time.
Yes.
So the X, Y, and Z dimensions as well. So not only can we look into this as it is today, March 2nd, 8:53 p.m. at a location, but you can actually also read that location through time. And so that's another thing that I like to do too, is reading a place through history
time and space. Yep. Yeah. For me, when I tap into past things, I kind of get it as like impressions, or like I'll see like a little snippet, like it's happening like a movie. Does that happen for you too, like that, when you're tapping into the past? Or is it still the same?
Very rarely. Actually, what I generally experience more is I'm in that time.
Okay.
But that being said, so I again will ask, like, is there a time frame that is most important to this location, this house, these spirits here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then I'll kind of get that information, and then I'll be in that space.
Yeah.
So
all about intention.
I know, exactly. And I also kind of layer it like a cake. So like a strawberry cake. So as everybody wants the strawberry layer, right? Like the strawberry layer is like the meaty, juicy, like event layer. And like the rest of it's kind of like vanilla layer. But it also depends, because sometimes there's like a very small vanilla layer that the spirit wants you to know about. And you're like, okay, then thank you for letting me know about that time.
Everybody's going to want some cake now. Just
make everybody hungry.
Yeah. Well, on our podcast, we'll probably talk about it at some point, but yeah, we always talk about food.
Yeah. We always get on, for some reason, tacos and pizza. Yeah. CMC had a question to build on Keisha's question. Do you take active protection measures?
Love that. Yes and no. So I have a small habit of bringing like a small little like angel crystal with me. It just kind of is a little bit of a comfort thing. But in general, I keep my boundaries strong every day. It's not just when I go into a space where there's going to be spirit there. I fully believe that filling up your space completely from within, your own light from within, filling your space, not necessarily like armor. It's not necessarily armor. There are times you need armor. I was just at a place where I literally had to put an armor up. And I've never had to do that before except at this place for a certain possessed doll.
Yeah,
it was remarkable. So not necessarily in an armor kind of way, but just a filling up. This is my space, non-negotiable. Yep. Nobody is in. Nobody can damage me that way. And just walking through the whole space with that mentality. And you don't necessarily have to do a lot of rituals. But I always say, whatever empowers you the most. So that empowers me the most. It may mean nothing to somebody else, and another ritual or process makes them feel empowered the most. So really, whatever is most empowering to you is the best.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of have the same mentality that you do. And I don't think there's any good words for it, because we have so many, all of our words have so many different meanings. But to me, it's like you're stepping into your own power. You're using your own power to be present and say, I have the power in this situation, and you're not going to do X, Y, or Z to me.
Right.
But the word power implies usually negative things, and that's not what it is at all.
There also, well, I would also say that there's like a sense of confidence that has to be there.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so, like, it can't be kind of like a wishy-washy thing. Like, you have to show, kind of like you were just saying, I don't want to get overly dramatic with the words that I'm using, but you almost do. You almost have to have like this sense of like real strength. And if that, to be able to have that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
I agree. You can't go in wishy-washy. It can't. And a lot of students when they're beginning to learn, they don't want to create those boundaries because they want to like kind of test and they want to check. So they kind of let things in. Or people who have spirits in their house and they like half say they don't want them, but like at the same time they do want them. So like if that's the vibe you're giving off, they're not going anywhere.
No.
Yeah. That's probably my biggest thing is whenever I've seen anything leave, it's been because it's been told under every circumstance that it's going to get the hell out.
Not acceptable.
Like there's no like, well,
like,
yeah.
when it's your birthday, come by,
Yeah.
No, you're out of here. So I want to hear more about this recent experience where you had to use your armor with the haunted doll.
Yeah, it was okay. Wow. So it was at the convent tattoo parlor. It's in New Jersey, and the woman who runs it, gosh, I'm not going to remember her name. Yes, Sophia, I got it. Okay, she has a whole archive of haunted or not necessarily haunted, but objects with the possession or associated with the spirit. Oh, I mean, there's hundreds of them here.
Yikes!
And she has ones that are neutral or positive, and then she has a bunch of them in the basement area that are not positive and not neutral. They are.
That's where the bullies have to hang out, is in the basement.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating because she keeps them all together, and it makes sense because they're in that space, and she's done her work on how to work with them, handle them. They're definitely there. They're not. The spirits are not wandering off from that place. They are there. But she just got a new doll in. And when I went there, it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks after she had first got it in from somebody. And she immediately knew that this was a really intense spirit that's associated with this doll. And she's been communicating with it, trying to figure out what it is, who it is, why it is, what do you want, what are you doing, kind of things like that. And this is all posted on her website as well. I think it's Riot. Something Riot, Satan's Riot, maybe something like that. And so I did a pre-read of this place. I had 2 spirits come to me. I had one who was a gentleman who's associated with the property, and she confirmed that was his name and stuff. And then this other one that was like this black cape, and he had his arm up, and he called himself the magician, and he was just like very dramatic and flamboyant, had a skull in his hand. And I was like, wow, this is intense. I don't know what this is. So when we went down into the basement, the second I saw this doll, because he was on a table in like the communication table, she'll put like one on the table to highlight it and have like tools around it to communicate with. And the second I saw this thing, I mean, I've never ever felt the need to do that. Not a single place I've been to.
Wow.
But that's how intense this was. And she believes it's a genie. So she believes that it's a genie spirit that's inhabiting this doll. But very, very, very intense, negative entity.
Yikes.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, as we've reached the top of the hour here on the East Coast, I just wanted to let everybody know, reset for a second. If you have joined us since the beginning of the show, we are joined by the Ghost History Medium tonight, Kimm. We're talking about all kinds of, her paranormal experiences and mediumship, and we've been talking about remote viewing, and well, now we're talking about haunted dolls. So thank you guys for coming in and jumping in and talking with us tonight. Just a reminder, we've already had a lot of great questions. So if you have any comments or questions for us and Kimm tonight, make sure you leave those in chat, and we will definitely get to those before the show is up tonight. So there we go. If you are watching the show or hanging out with us now, then you already know medium Jenny Lee. But did you know you can book a private session, explore her spiritual services, or check out her latest content all in one place? Head over to mediumjennylee.com. Whether you're seeking guidance, answers from beyond, or just curious about what the spirit world has to say, Jenny offers personal readings, mentorship, and more. Don't miss your chance to connect directly. Visit mediumjennylee.com and take the next step on your spiritual journey. Your journey to the weird is just a click away. In a world of mass production, there's still a place where fire meets steel and tradition comes alive. At Vincent's Forge, every piece is forged by hand, unique, durable, and built to last. Each creation carries the mark of true craftsmanship. Own something forged by fire. Own something that tells a story. Vincent's Forge, handcrafted, unforgettable. Available now on Etsy.
All right. So continuing with the spooky, before we switch gears here, because I have some other things I want to ask you. Before the show, you just happened to throw out there that you saw a full-bodied apparition in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Will you please tell us more about that?
Yeah. So this was, I was in college at the time. This maybe was 2008. Yeah, I think it was 2008 or 2007. And a bunch of friends and I went to a fort because, what do kids do but make trouble and do troubling things? So there's this old fort. I think it's in Newcastle. So it's just south of Portsmouth, and it's called Fort Stark. And it's been there. The original part of it's been there from the 1700s, and it's been used in every single war that's happened in America so far on the land. So the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, World War I, World War II, all of that. And it's not that big, but at the time, I don't think you can go in it anymore, but at the time you could go through it. So we were just hanging out there all day, and the fog came in, right? Because it's right on the water. And so this fog came in, and we were like, oh, we should probably get going. And right as we were about to leave, and this is one of those things when you see something paranormal, sometimes it is so real that you don't even think it's paranormal because it looks real, and it's like you're not even afraid because it looks so real. Mm-hmm. It's not the case all the time. Like when you see a half body show up.
Yeah.
And so we're about to leave. We're in the car, and a car comes up. It is a black, Ford Model T, comes up the lane, comes behind our car. The lights are flashing on the fort, and this guy in a brown uniform, like the cardboard color uniform. Mm-hmm. You know how they used to wear that? Oh gosh, I can't remember. It wouldn't be the Navy. Well, anyway.
So like a khaki, like the khakis?
Yes, the khaki. Yeah. He was in full khaki gear. He went in front of his car. This is I can't even process it because we can't explain it. He went in front of the car, checked the lights, went back into the car, went out, checked the lights, got in, and left.
Wow.
So if that was an apparition, that is the longest apparition I think, on the planet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We all saw it, but I have no way to explain it.
And it wasn't just a person; it was a car too.
Yeah,
it was a car. I mean, could an actor, a time actor? What are those called? Like a
reenactor.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could it have been a solo reenactor who drove up
just to come check his lights?
To come check the headlights? I don't know.
You think it was like a time slip?
That's what I was going to bring up.
It very well could have been.
Wow.
Because we couldn't leave because this was behind us. So we actually, it was very bizarre. We all saw it. We have no idea how to explain it. And to this day, I've never seen anything so clear as that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
CMC has a question and a comment.
Yes.
CMC said that's near the naval base. I believe so, right? Where you were at is near the naval base?
Or
I don't know how far away it's from the naval base. It's Fort Stark.
Okay.
I guess I could Google
And then CMC knew that the khakis would have been the U.S. Marines from the 1910s to the 20s or the U.S. Air Force in the early 50s.
So maybe it would make sense with the 10s and 20s, right?
Because that type of car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it would be the Marines because it was Navy, but then they use it for other things associated with the Army.
Well, the Navy wears khakis. Like their chiefs wear khakis and their officers wear khakis.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
CMC always knows everything.
Great. Thank you. Yeah. I have looked it up at some point. I just forgot. But yeah, that makes sense.
Denise has a fun story that's adjacent to your doll story. Speaking of vibes from objects, I was at an antique consignment plaza, walked past a curio cabinet of weird nymph creatures. One in particular grabbed my attention, but it made me nauseous. I had to get away from it right away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Denise, I mean, with this doll that I went and saw recently at the Convent Tattoo, I had like a time limit that I could handle this. And I was trying to communicate with it too. So I was involved with it, but yeah, at some point I had to leave also because I wasn't feeling well. So I left and came back in.
Well, here's a question, because I joke around a lot with Jenny, especially about going antique shopping and bringing home haunted objects. When you guys go out to antique shops and stuff like that, how routine is it, or that you guys actually do run into things that you get vibes off of in a store? Is it common, uncommon? Every time.
I've only had once that was like, I don't want to go near that.
Oh, yeah.
So only one time. It was like this collection of African art from Africa. Yeah. And it was a mask, which I love African masks, but it was sitting in a box and the top of the box was open. And I looked down on it and I was like, no. And I was like, skirt around that box, like don't even go near it. And it made me wonder, like, well, why was it in the box? Like not hanging up or on display, because there was something not so nice with it.
Yeah.
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 So you said it's pretty common for you as well, Kimm?
Yeah, it's interesting. I love going to antique shops and I love going to museums. Oh, I love going to museums. And because everything has energy with it. And everything that is associated with another thing is connected. That is quantum physics. So if you've ever touched an object, your energy has interacted with it. Now there's a relationship between the two. Mm-hmm. And so the older an object, usually the more things that have interacted with it, and generally the more energy. So that can kind of feel sometimes as a heaviness. I will say antique stores for me can get kind of loud or busy. And sometimes I'll tune out and I might get like a glassy look and I'm just like, okay, because there's just a lot. It's just a lot of input.
Yeah.
But I can go into them and just not open up to it. But do you like to? It's like, do I want the spirits or do I not?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like it's the same thing. Well, this ghost is really bothering me, but I don't really mind if they're here.
Yeah, exactly. But I will tell you, one of the craziest situations I had at a history was when I was at the Natural Museum of History in New York. I went into they have a Native American section, which they don't really have so much anymore. They actually had to just recently donate a lot of it back to the tribes.
Yeah.
So I was in the back room. There's a Pacific Islanders section back there. This was a long time ago. This was when I was first starting to really kind of like understand what was happening. And I'm literally like, oh my God, my jawbone, my jaw. Oh my God, my jaw. I was like, and my husband was with me. And I was like, I can't, like, I literally felt like my jaw was being torn off my body. It was
wow.
the most bizarre feeling. And I'm like walking around and walking around. And my husband says, turn around. And I did. And there was a human jawbone on a shield.
Oh,
and I read, you know, they have little tags what you can read, and it said that this particular tribe, if they ever, you know, overtook somebody, that was their trophy. So that particular tribe would take their jawbone, and I was like,
no wonder.
Okay, I don't need that.
You were actually feeling it.
Yeah,
it's making my jaw hurt just thinking about it.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Tap out.
It's so funny. This is totally off topic, but it's so funny that you mentioned that because you were talking about synchronicities. Me and my daughter just started watching Night at the Museum, which is where that takes place.
Oh, yeah. Love museums so much.
So I wanted to get into more of your woo-woo things that you do because I was perusing your website and I found the woo-woo things. You do something called a soul reading that works with colors. Will you talk more about that?
Yeah, this is something also that just kind of started without training or without any structure to it. So when I read a soul, like when I can read when I tap in, I can read a person's soul energy, and it shows up to me as colors. And generally, I'm doing these readings at like a fair or something. So I don't ask for like the whole rainbow. I ask for like, give me the 3 colors. Like, give me the 3 colors that really I can boil it down and describe to people. And so through those colors and their symbolism to me and how they feel to me, I can give you messages of like what your core essence is kind of about.
That's neat.
Yeah. And it's something I like to do at fairs and stuff and through one-on-one readings.
So is it like, it sounds like it's different than like an aura reading because auras can change color. So this is more like your innate things that show up as colors.
Yeah. I've never seen an aura, I'm going to be honest.
Me neither.
It's kind of sad.
Not something I can do.
Yeah. Sometimes I can like, I'm like, no. This is more of like your essence, like your 3 main kind of ingredients of your essence.
So what do some of the colors mean for you?
Yeah. And it's interesting because it can be different for different people. Yeah.
So give us an example of a couple.
Yeah. So great question. So yellow is a great one. Yellow generally means you're a bright, bubbly, optimistic, outgoing person. And what actually can mean too when I see these colors is I can feel if that innate part of you is being expressed appropriately right now. Meaning like, so if that is your innate self and you come to me in the reading and you're, like, not expressing that part, I can feel that needs to be integrated a bit more into your totality, your holistic picture, because that's part of you. That's your core. You know what I mean? Like you can't really escape that.
Yeah.
Silver, I've had gold. I've had people show up as like opulescent sometimes as a color. Like a pearl. I've had pearl. I was like, ooh, that's fun. It was like pearl. And I was like, I forget what I said to her about it, but a little more mystical with that one.
Yeah.
She was a little more mystical. Blue generally means somebody who is a little bit more emotional, but it depends on the color of blue. So like light blue tends to be a more like a higher emotional, then like a dark blue tends to be more of like a grounded emotional. So yeah, it kind of can be like in the combination of the 3. So I might see like a maroon, a dark green, and like a navy blue. So obviously that kind of combination together is very different seeing than somebody who is like light blue, opalescent, and pink.
That's really cool. Have you ever thought about using them like doing any kind of art related things with what you see?
Oh, that is probably the weakest part of my I do not have artistic bone in my body. I am creative, but I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
I tried to draw a spirit once for my husband. My husband is an artist. He's a wonderful artist. And I tried to draw a spirit to him. This woman, the spirit is the most beautiful spirit I've ever seen. She's beautiful. And I drew this like a banshee. He was like, okay, you're not doing that ever again.
Well,
it was
maybe you guys could team up. You could tell him what you see and he can do a little painting or something.
Oh my gosh, that'd be cool. That would be like, what is that show? My favorite show, The Dead Files.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Amy
I
Allen
drew
would
you a
always
picture.
say, yeah, I made this picture for you. Like, Amy, you didn't draw jack squat. Somebody else did that.
Yeah.
It's like a terrifying, like, oh my God.
CMC has another question. Frosty, do you want to read it?
Yeah. He said, Kimm, do you see such colors when meeting someone for the first time or even for anyone here in chat?
I do not. So no, when I meet somebody, I don't see the colors. I can kind of get a pretty good read off of a person. I definitely trust my intuition when I meet people. And especially in my line of work, I meet some very shady characters. And
and not just the doll types.
Not the doll types. No.
The living ones.
I actually work at the racetrack with racehorses. So you can imagine the kinds of...
Say no more.
Yes. So, and I've never been wrong to this day of who, because you can feel vibes from people, even though they're saying something, there's a whole energy that they're giving off in a different way.
Absolutely.
But no, I don't see it as colors when I meet somebody. And I really have to tune into you and sit with you. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, and then we have to, before we run out of time, we have to get into my favorite woo-woo topic, which the other thing that I found digging through your website is that you do channeling work with a set of 8 light beings. This is, you're with Team Weird, so we have to talk about that. Please tell us more.
It's funny, and maybe you experience this too, Jenny, is when it kind of opens your awareness to the other energies that are available to experience and understand and read and interpret, a lot of these different skills can kind of come in. So channeling, mediumship, psychic information, premonitions, dream work, it all kind of comes together. And how I describe to the people, because they're like, oh, well, you should, you do this and that and this and that. And I'm like, well, it's kind of like when you open, it's like you're the center of the wheel, and these are just spokes, just different spokes in different directions that you can take your focus and awareness to access the unseen information. So my channeling started when I started opening up. And a book that I would recommend to anybody who is looking into channeling is called Opening to Channeling by Sanaya Roman. And it is the most excellent. All of their books are wonderful. It's from the 80s, actually, so it's kind of an oldie, but it's really good. And so when I started channeling, it was more to communicate with my spirit guides, because everybody says that when you're a medium, you gotta go get you don't have to, but it's common in the training to do the spirit guides with it. And so I was doing channeling, and then it just kind of exploded. It was just downloads on downloads on downloads, where I would just sit at my computer and just for hours typing questions, because we get a lot of questions when we start opening up, like, how does this really work? Tell me about how energy works. What is going on here? You know what I mean? Like, so I had a lot of questions and they were getting answered. So yeah, I have a team. I have multiple guides and multiple things that I can channel, but my main group is a group of 8. They call themselves the quorum. So it's a Latin term, I guess, of the minimum number of people to have a say in something is kind of how that, I didn't know that word until I looked it up after they told me. I was like, oh, that makes sense. And so they give me a lot of information about the universe, a lot of information about how energy works, and deep information like that. So I have channeled for people with them as the guides for that.
So how do you do those readings? Are you speaking, or is it a written speaking?
Yeah, so it started out written, and then I would say it evolved into speaking once I started getting more comfortable in my mediumship, to be honest. Because mediumship, I mean, you can do it writing, but generally it's spoken and it's in front of people. So once I started getting more solid in those skills of communicating what I was experiencing in mediumship, then it became much easier to translate the same way in channeling. Because honestly, it's the same kind of state. It's just a different frequency. It's just a different person on the other line. Yeah. So I do it speaking. Yeah.
Cool. Do you have anything that happens to your body physically when you're channeling?
Yeah. So in my mind, when I'm really deep into it, like if I'm doing a reading for somebody, I'm really deep into it, I will literally feel it's crazy inside. I will feel like, so if this is me on the screen, I feel like I'm back here. I feel far away. Like I feel far away.
Yeah.
I don't know if you also experienced that.
I also channel. So yeah.
Yeah.
I've explained it as like, I'm a balloon tied to a pole and the balloon just kind of floats out. And sometimes it can float like real far, but it's not ever disconnected.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And
so for you, are you aware of what is coming through when you're channeling?
Mostly.
Yeah.
Mostly. And I will say that the same as my mediumship. Mostly I'm aware.
Yeah.
Because if you will ask me after a session, I may not remember all of the details. I may be like, oh, I said that. Like, I don't remember. So mostly aware. Yeah. That's a pretty
deep trance then, if you're not really sure what was coming through all the way.
Yeah, it's like 85% aware. But again, like if you asked me after the session to repeat something, I might be able to repeat it in like a general sense.
Yeah.
But like the words I specifically said, no, I would not.
Here's another question for you about it. Yeah. Do you ever pick up on other things that are happening that they're not saying?
Meaning in my connection?
Yes. Like, do you ever sense or feel something that they don't say out loud?
Like my spirit guides when I channel?
Yeah.
Like they're holding back info?
Or you can feel what they're feeling. Does that ever happen to you?
No. That group is pretty information based.
They're just like giving, like you were saying, downloads. So they're just dropping the information and it's flowing through.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I don't particularly, and I haven't at this point, it could evolve, but I don't feel like I'm particularly merging with them. I mean, I know on some level I am, but I don't like become them.
Yeah.
It's almost like I know it's very hard to explain. This is weird. We're getting into the weird.
We are Team Weird for the win.
So it's like I'm out, but but they're not in.
Yeah.
So they're not
like a transmission. They're transmitting information to you.
Yes.
But in order for it to come through clearly, you can't really be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens to me too, but I also have the other happen where I can sense and feel things that they're not saying.
Oh, nice.
And then I can speak about it when I come back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real weird.
Whoa. So like you're like mind infiltrating them.
It's like we're mind meld, like for Spock or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. No, mine will just say like, we're not talking about that with you.
Yeah. And it's not like, I don't
Jenny's
think
I'm not gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
No, because I don't think they ever give me anything that they don't want, that they wouldn't want to come through.
Sure.
Because I have had that happen too, where somebody asks a question and then they're like, no. And there's like no getting around it, like that's it. That's it. Okay, so we're down to the last few minutes. Kimm, will you tell everybody where they can find you?
Sure. Yeah. So I have a website. It's ghosthistorymedium.com. I also have Facebook, Ghost History Medium on Facebook. I also have a podcast with two other investigator compatriots with Jenny Colucci and Anthony. Oh my God.
Simonelli.
Thank you so much.
Gabagoo.
We're all three of us have Italian origins. Well, Jenny doesn't, but she's married to an Italian.
Yes.
So we have a paranormal podcast on Tuesday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. on ERRT Radio on YouTube. So we also talk about all the weird stuff. I love it. I literally am like, there's nothing you could say to me that would make me be like, oh my God, you're crazy. Nothing. So,
good. Well, you fit in perfectly here.
Yeah.
Great.
Frosty, I kind of took over this interview. Was there anything that you wanted to ask that we didn't get to? We got a couple minutes.
Well, I guess the last one, we talked a little bit about locations and specifically going to locations. We didn't get to talk a whole lot about the history part of the Ghost History Medium, so maybe we can
Sorry,
talk about
Frosty.
But, there's all, that just gives us a reason to talk another time.
Yeah. Kim will have to come back. So you can... I'll be quiet and you can ask her all the history questions.
That's fine. I want to ask now. I imagine you've been to a lot of locations. Is there a location that you have on your list that you that you would like to make it to? Like, is there a spot that you haven't been to yet that's on the top of your list?
Yes, absolutely. Gettysburg is at the top of my list. I don't know how I've skirted around this for as long as I have.
We had never gone there either until this past year.
Yeah, we got to take this to the close.
Yes.
We just went last, I guess spring or snow? When was it? Fall?
Fall, yeah.
Yeah, I'd never been. It was better than I thought it could have been.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's what I hear. Everybody who's been there is just like, it's wild.
Yeah. We're thinking about Battlefield Bash this year. So
you should go. I've never been, but I hear how amazing it is. So I'm telling you should go.
Yeah, I've heard. So yeah, maybe you too. Like maybe you can check out Gettysburg finally. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll figure it out. But
I've been to the Hoover House, which is like another few towns over. The Hoover House. I stayed there. That was great. Highly recommend that. But I haven't been into Gettysburg itself, like into the battlefields and all this stuff. So I'm really excited to do that.
Go. All right.
It's an amazing place. Awesome. Definitely make sure you get there.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Kimm. We loved having you on. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks, Frosty. Thanks, Jenny. And thanks everybody for your questions in the chat. It was great to talk with you guys too in the chat. So thanks so much.
And thanks, Priestess of Wonderland, for coming on to talk about the moon phases for March.
Yes, and the spring right around the corner there.
Yes, thank goodness.
So for all of you listening at another time and another place, we will see you all next time.